Welcome to Chatting the Pictures. My name is Cara Finnegan, and I'm a writer, teacher, and historian of photography.
And I'm Michael Shaw. I'm a writer, a psychologist, and also publisher of Reading the Pictures.
In the aftermath of a racially motivated mass shooting, this photo distinguishes itself for features that are both unique and familiar.
This photo was taken by Matt Rourke for the AP. It shows people praying outside Tops Supermarket in Buffalo on May 15th, 2022. 5 days before, a white 18-year-old gunman killed 10 people in a mass shooting in a racially motivated, premeditated hate crime. All of the victims were Black.
This is an image of witnessing, and the photographer really positions the viewer to become witnesses to yet another example of the ways that gun culture, white supremacy, and racist violence have come together to destroy lives and communities.
It certainly is a witnessing photograph. I think we have to really think about the tone of it also. Surely this photo circulated as widely as it did for the racial and physical symbolism. The white woman is sitting in a more downcast position, but what really is striking, if maybe just subconsciously, is that the two Black males can be seen to be taking a knee, which is that protest gesture against police brutality and racism popularized by athletes during the playing of the national anthem. But then the body language and the distancing seems to actually create a tone that's more forlorn than empowered.
The photograph creates kind of a visual triangle. There's the store, the police van, and then those who've come to witness and pay their respects. So there's definitely that forlorn sense of loss here. But also within that triangle, I think there's a history of conflict and also the neglect of a community. After the mass shooting, folks who live in the area said that, for a long time, this neighborhood was without its own grocery store. And some activists interviewed suggested that instead of calling it a food desert, it should actually be called food apartheid. That term is more apt because the absence of such an important resource is really about structural racism. So that triangle that's created by the store, the people, and the police invites the viewer to think about not just what happened at the moment of that shooting, but the place of the people and the police in the space of the community in general. I think in light of the more recent event of the mass school shooting in Texas, the photo also invites us to think a little bit about media culture and the way that the visibility of these events comes and goes. As we've seen many times before, when these mass shootings occur, public and media attention pour into the space, and the grief and loss of a community is made temporarily visible to the nation. And then time passes, and sometimes not even very much time passes. More shootings occur, as we've seen with the school shooting in Texas just 10 days later. Now, the people of Buffalo still grieve, and we should still grieve with them. But at the same time, because of the way the media narrative works, the public's attention moves on. And so in some ways, this photo also really reflects that painful pattern.
When we consider photographs from these mass shootings, you have to consider them in time and what impact they play within the news cycle as the hours and the days and the weeks slip away. So it's really odd looking at this photograph from 10 days ago, knowing that you had this mass shooting in Texas where at least 19 children and 2 adults were killed. So, you look back at this photograph and you see it in ways that you perhaps wouldn't have yesterday. It puts more emphasis on the visual redundancy of mass shootings, where you see the mourners, the caution tape, the police vehicle, and the location, which is forever tainted.